Hello, music listeners, underground enthusiasts, and people whose attention span has been irreparably ruined by hyper-algorithmic short-form media. Back with another weekly songs. Let's just get into it. I always make the intro so long. And for what? For what? Let's just get into the songs. Let's get into why you are here. Anyways, starting off, we have One Fern with What Do I Do With That? And the song greets us with the classic, everyone knows it, the classic bait and switch of introducing the track with these, soft instruments, this mellow guitar picking and organic percussion that then proceedingly leads into a distorted and blown out 808 that would make even Brankins hesitate at the sound of it. And maybe the heavy auto-tune embellishing, sharply descending notes should have been a relatively fair warning for me, but nonetheless, I was caught off guard by it. And the vocal range in the intro verse and chorus is impressive, and even better, it's fun to listen to, tackling the transition from slurred low notes to wispy falsettos pretty adequately. And despite the aforementioned overbearing bass, the vocals break through pretty nicely and don't sacrifice clarity for the abrasive sound. And after a great start, the next verse maintains quality with a bit more of a structured and classic underground rap delivery, and is not only fitting for the beat and sang well, but it also adds a nice sharp intensity in between the airy and bright vocals on the rest of the track. And the last verse returns to the soft delivery that the song introduced and is a compelling and smooth verse that brings us back to the blown out hook, this time with added instrumentation to let you know that it's the last chorus, driving forward the energetic climax to finish out a stylistic and fun track. Up next, we have maesk, one of the two, or a third unknown option. With Be Safe For Me, Be Safe For Me has kind of switching gears a bit, entering the territory of acoustic alt-rock with pinches of emo rap sprinkled into the pot, mixed into the recipe. And the tired and despaired delivery isn't reinventing the wheel by this point, but I do believe is an appropriate approach given the lyrics and subject matter, which detail the disparaging contrast between security and agency found in someone you care about and the reality of your decaying self-worth. And with its chorus built on repetition of romantic mantras and heartfelt verses, this track adds spice to an old recipe that I can really enjoy and respect. Then we got a new Dex with Fable, and on this track, Dex wastes no time, less than a second into the song, in fact, to belt out some ridiculously clean vocals over a sparkly and sharp instrumental, whose bells, keys, and synths do more than a proper job at providing the appropriate environment to croon emotions with clear delivery and trance-like delay sliding throughout the background. And the mix of these smooth, drawn-out notes and a more upbeat and engaging delivery keeps the song pretty interesting throughout. And as Dex describes his feelings on isolation, a contradicting aversion to relationships, and even a dinosaur reference, it plays out pretty well. After following Dex for quite some time after tracks like Unseen and Bird's Eye, I'm happy to see that Fable continues a streak of beautiful tracks that I can most definitely cry to. And then up next, we have a new bruhmanegod track with Torture. And BMG's music has been in my sights for quite a while, and songs like This Door Is Not a Door, Elephant, and Blinkers fueled a lot of my college experience. But it's been remiss of me to, over the past year or so, fall out of the loop on the music that he's been pushing out. And trust me, he's been busy. And it would take me a while to properly catch up, but I believe that Torture is, at the very least, an adequate reintroduction to his discography. And with Shadow Wizard Money Gang voice lines, heavily reverbed chants that sound borderline cultish, gunshots, and even a Call of Duty zombie soundbite, this song proves to be a chaotic whirlwind that not only reflects psyche, but also is just straight up really fun. BMG's airy vocals work really well with the edgy and distorted production, and the previously mentioned chant is mixed incredibly well, adding to the overbearing and dark atmosphere of the track. And the vocal shift to a high-pitched, energetic delivery that would feel comfortable on a rage-inspired track only helps reinforce the unique range and the approach that I have become familiar with in BMG's music. It's intense and it's in your face, but beneath the abrasive approach, it does bleed emotion and reflects BMG's psyche pretty well. This song almost feels damp in a way. I know that sounds horrible. I know it does, but I promise that's a compliment. It kind of feels damp in a way. And that's a good thing. Then we have feelnum with Involved, which returns to some alt-rock inspired sounds, showcasing cleanly mixed and consistent vocals over some dampened and pretty guitar. The organic percussion carries the tempo for a while, but a quick shift to trap drums is made, and despite the glaring difference in timbre, it works pretty well for the hook, if I'm being honest. And feelnum dives into some meta commentary related to music, a sense of community, and reflection on the self-worth that seemingly establishes justification in acquiring these desired reputations or outcomes. And while this may feel immensely personal due to its nature of detailing feelnum's music and importance of the environment that they're in, it also reflects an important sentiment that I do think is incredibly relatable, despite the deep personal connection that feelnum has to this track, where involvement in a community centered around something that you're so passionate about feels like it needs to be earned in some way, whether it be by talent or connections or whatever requirements needed to feel like you truly belong, not as a spectator but as an active participant. And then backpedaling a bit to question whether it is actually worth it to gain this involvement, observing the lack of opportunities or respect and thinking that maybe it would be easier to just leave it be. And overall, I really enjoy the track. I think it shares a pretty important message that many people could understand and see reflected in themselves, whether they make art or not. Then we have djikea. That's what I'm gonna go with. Djikea. Correct me if I'm wrong. Just if I ever pronounce a name wrong, just get in the comments and say, "Oh, you fucking moron." Everyone knows that it's not pronounced that way, it's pronounced this way, and then I won't make the mistake again. But we have Nightmare, and we always got to have a song on the weekly list that packs as much energy and personality into the shortest amount of time. Last week it was Shinigami, and this week it's djikea with Nightmare, which is an overbearing and spacey track that employs heavy distorted 808s, twinkly melodies, vocal glitches, and these ethereal and ambient bells, and the processed and synthesized mix only helps the vocals blend into this controlled chaos, and the unique quirks and stylistic traits are a lot of fun to listen to, and although some of the lyrics do get lost to the cacophony of icy sounds going on, I really enjoy where they sit in the mix and have no trouble listening back multiple times to pick up on pieces that I missed on my initial listen. Then we have JRXHC with Figure This Out. This song says a lot with a little, which is an attribute that I deeply admire, maybe due to the fact that every one of my songs has got to hit the character limit of SoundCloud's description, so I can feel like I got my point across, but whatever. It's not about me. But with just two distinct verses, JR's belted vocals carry such an immense amount of emotion, supported by this wonderfully organic mix that creates the perfect blend of distant energy in the singing, the dusty percussion, great guitar picking from sofa bed, and this absolutely fucking insane piano solo that ties things together so well and adds additional elements to make sure that stagnancy is not felt at any point of the track. This song is gorgeous, and as the vocals become wider and even more resonant in this final chorus, they create such a powerful and energetic and beautiful sound. I don't know, this song really gets to me, where every involved element plays off of the others so well. It's true harmony. Then we got a Shiki XO track with It Takes a Little Time. Shiki continues the trend of harrowing and emotional acoustic tracks with It Takes a Little Time, which goes into the concept of relationships, social detachment, and the uncomfortable cost of romance. And for about the first minute, we're presented with heartfelt and cracked vocals weeping over this soft acoustic guitar. But as the drums and the kicks start to crescendo, it becomes increasingly aware that the energy of the song is about to change. And the vulnerable and weak vocals explode into saturated and shouted vocals, and the deep and clean kick turns into a distorted 808 that mirrors the distressed energy of the vocals. It's a wonderful transition that works really well with the contrasting singer-songwriter acoustic approach that the song initially builds off of. And the final chorus is anthemic and huge in its depiction of Shiki's stance on the discussed relationship, with the distortion of the vocals, the simple additional melodies in the keys, and the inspiring pop synths, all put together to craft an amazing conclusion to a track, and you know, has a pretty impactful, energetic peak. They always get you. Hey, this is an acoustic track. Hey, this is an acoustic track with some organic, natural drums. Just kidding. We're going to break your speakers with this 808. That is my experience with a lot of these songs. Not a bad thing. Not a bad thing, though. We got a hiraeth song with Surface. Hiraeth has these ghostly and soft vocals that glide across the track, and the ambient background vocals give this song a super chilling atmosphere. And the vivid depictions of relationships, betrayal, and fallout make this song fit right in with the extensive catalog of emo rap hits. It's a dark song. And the feature from I'm Geist counters the wispy melodies of the first verse with a low-toned cry. Imagine Breakince's delivery on CBD, but depressing. And this just seems to be the episode showcasing blown out 808s, because after about 2 minutes of soft guitar picking, minimal percussion, and ethereal vibes, the song's last leg is full of dark and intense energy, with a switch up that still maintains the melancholy sound of the rest of the song, while also providing this intense new energy, which is cool. It's weird to have such an intense progression in the production while maintaining the somber delivery that has, been heard beforehand. Bold statement here. I like it. Up next, we got Gloomybaby with Brunette. This song immediately kicks off with these angelic and layered vocals that fill every bit of space in the mix. They are soft and smooth with only some folky guitar and these gentle synth chords that don't really have a beat or rhythm to them, filling in the space and supporting them. And the somber description of the aftermath of somebody at a low is sobering in concept, but the light and harmonic context in which it is delivered makes it incredibly comforting to listen to in a way. It's a wonderful vocal performance with so much to offer beneath the deceptively simple approach. Next up, we got Azie with Good to Me. This song feels like a bubblegum punk show tune mixed with late 2000s pop, channeling Britney Spears, Avril Lavigne, and many other eclectic sounds. The strings and synths support this really expressive singing full of personality, and there's so many concepts thrown out here that it's hard not to see the vision being fulfilled. There's tons of small mixing quirks and changes in tone that give the track a extra bit of sparkle, and the overall structure of it is, pretty much made to keep you hooked the entire time. It's a lot of fun, it's really energetic, and despite some small discrepancies in the pitch correction or mixing, it's fire, and I'm excited to see more. To finish off the list, we have Psych with It Started With a Kiss. The contrast between Psych's soft, whispered vocals, C2D's smooth and steady vocals, and Dollywood's robotic and fast-paced delivery works really, really well for this song. And the production from J and KG is a great foundation for all of this to be built upon, with sharp trap drums and glowing synths. This is a really, really fun track where everyone plays off of each other incredibly well, does great jobs individually, and then when you take those individual verses and put them together, you have a super in sync sound. Everyone knows what they're doing, everyone's supporting each other. It's fire. It's so fun to listen to. And there you have it. That's it. That's the whole week, What do I normally say at the end of this? Catch me next week when I do a thing I'm not gonna do. Catch me next week when This is so stupid. I gotta write these things beforehand so I actually have something to say rather than getting to the end and being like, oh fuck. So yeah, I will catch you all next week. Thanks so much for watching, and keep out for the next video for next Monday, where I talk about all of the songs that have not come out yet. Bye.